All right, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, and it's already starting in this absolute total freak show. It's Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. Let's start off with economic news right off the bat. No surprise to you yet again, and it's freaking pathetic. What am I talking about? People here in the United States and around the world continue to bury themselves in debt. Household debt continues to skyrocket. A phenomenon that you knew was going to come from a long time ago, because I told you this is former members of the middle class who are trying to borrow their way into prosperity. They are attempting to maintain the illusion of a middle class lifestyle. So what are they doing? They're borrowing, and borrowing some more. It's very sad to see this phenomenon occur, and I really hope this is not you. It's a scheme, people, to create slaves around the world as people fall to that lower rung of society that I've warned would happen from a very long time ago. How else do I put this other than the way I have for many years? We are in the middle of a wipeout, a global wipeout of the middle class, extreme haves, extreme have-nots. And I explained to you that this phenomenon would happen. You would see, this is Greg Mannarino speaking from a long time ago, members of the middle class borrow beyond their eyeballs to try to maintain the illusion that they are still in the middle class. They're refusing to accept the fact that they are no longer members of the middle class, and they are falling into that lower rung of society. People, it's all about control. People are slaves. Nations are slaves. It's a slave world being driven deliberately by central banks who continue to flood the world with their product. And their product is one thing. It's debt. And their job, since I've been out here for a long time, some of you have been with me for a long time, what have I explained to you was the core of the action of central banks? How many of you know what I'm about to say? They're going to inflate, and then inflate some more. That's it. Everything else is just dog shit, all right? I think you and I have nailed this to the wall. Look, I'm not the only one. All of us here. This is not Greg Mannarino's thing. This is our thing. And we are so far ahead of the curve. But the fact of the matter is, we are seeing things evolve just like we expected them to. And people, how else do I put this to you to make you understand that you haven't seen anything yet? All the talk, all the nonsense, all the garbage, all the distractions about how the Fed and other central banks are actually now ready to do something about inflation, it's a lie. They have no intention whatsoever to stop inflation from surging. This is deliberate pressure on what is ever is left of the middle class to cause them to continue to borrow, to continue to suffer, to make themselves slaves. Slaves to the debt system, the beast system. Henceforth, why? Again, most people in the middle class here, they don't understand anything. They really don't. They don't understand the markets. They don't know what's going on to them. And they've been told to stay in the dollar. They've been told to, do things that would cause them, again, to suffer, not take advantage of the biggest bull run market that we have ever seen in history, and like I covered yesterday, by people they trust out here on YouTube. It's unbelievable. I really feel like a crime has been committed on a massive scale against throngs of people who have been lulled into a distorted reality, and again, not told not to take advantage of the situation. It's a crime in my view. I've said to you all for, many, many years, don't let the system beat you. Let the system work for you. It's not so hard. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to be, like some kind of super market investor, trader, to take advantage of the situation. It's very, very simple. And I've put this into perspective for many, many years, realizing that the easy money is going to propel the stock market higher, and it will. The little lull that we're seeing right now off of record high, last year, we hit more record highs in this market than we've ever seen in history. It's not going to stop. I've explained to you the current situation here. The market is adjusting its mentality into understanding that there's going to be a Fed rate hike. In my view, one sector of this market has gotten hit pretty hard, and I think this, I still say this, and I've been talking about this over the last several weeks, massive opportunity here. I'm talking about the tech sector. The tech sector has taken the biggest hit here of the major sectors of the market on this rising rate environment, but it's going to adjust in my view. Once the market really understands, and it's a little retarded, it's slow to understand what's going on here, how the market is adjusting to a new, some new rules by the Federal Reserve here, and we are going to see rate hikes moving forward, but I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself here either. They're going to be meaningless. They're going to be infinitesimal. They're not going to make any difference at all. And once the market realizes that the market's going higher, the market's going much higher, okay? The distortions in this market are going to get worse. There's no price discovery in this market right now, which we haven't had for many, many years, and you can expect that to get worse too. So you and I just need to realize the situation and look for opportunities. That's what this whole thing is about since I started, okay? Realizing the environment we are in. It's a hyper environment of extremes. And everything is playing out exactly like we expected it to do. And realizing, again, that none of it, there's nothing here, nothing that is by accident. Everything you are seeing, and the pressure some of you are feeling by skyrocketing inflation here, an economy in free fall around the world, the lies, the deceptions, the distractions, the look here's, the don't look here. It's all a mechanism to keep us moving forward into this new feudal system run by the feudal overlords. I don't know another way to put this, people. That's what's really going on here. And for you and I, and like I've been explaining to you forever, we just got to know where to look. Again, let's talk about that real quick. We understand, and I covered this yesterday, I practically had a meltdown during my post-market wrap-up. Again, people saying the market's crashing, big lofty name people out here with channels, some of them bigger than mine, explaining that the market is crashing. They are doing people a great disservice yet again. The same disservice that they have been doing to people for many, many years. Some of them are not even in the market, admittedly so. And they're calling for crash after crash after crash, not realizing, not explaining to their followers that they need to be looking at the debt market. The debt market is the driver. It's the driver. If we have a stable debt market, and we do, realizing that the stock market is a derivative of the debt market, how can we have or be in a crash mode when we have a stable debt market? Yes, the debt market is a hyper bubble. It's been a hyper bubble for a very long time, but we haven't seen anything yet with regard to what they're going to pull off. I'm telling you. So do yourself a favor. Turn these people off. All of them. Maybe they entertain you. Maybe you think they're nice, but they're hurting you. Why would you want to follow someone or believe they're telling you the truth when they have misled you for many years? Makes no sense to me at all. You want to follow those kind of people? Do me a favor and unsubscribe from this channel. Unsubscribe from this channel. This channel is for winners. I've told you this since forever. And frankly, I don't want you here if you are a loser, okay? You are a weak link in the chain. This channel, I don't want a single weak link here. You understand? We're all going to win. We've been winning. We're not going to stop winning. We're going to keep our eye on the end target, which is for all of us to succeed, for all of us to weaponize this twisted system against those people who are deliberately trying to hurt us. And as far as I'm concerned, these big YouTubers out here who are trying to twist people's minds into some kind of a distorted reality, they're part of the problem too. I wish they would all just go away. I think they should be arrested, most of them, they've committed a crime against people that are following them for years by telling them to stay out of the market, for which they could have been capitalizing on this like you and I have. Yeah, sure. Some of them have the right idea, like I've said. Betting against the debt, becoming your own central bank. They haven't put it that way because that's Greg Mannarino's thing. Those are mine. I came up with that. Anyone else who's saying that, well, they got it from me. But understanding, yeah, sure, maybe they're telling people the right thing in some aspects, but telling them to stay out of the market when we have had we're in the middle, this isn't over, of the biggest bull run in history, it's a crime in my view, in this environment where they are creating slaves. People are enslaving themselves, continuing to borrow when they could have been capitalizing on this market and not had to borrow. People, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's out of control. Anyway, so on top of the bad news with household debt surging here, out of control, a phenomenon you knew would happen here. I already covered the NASDAQ and the tech sector. I think it's well overblown here. Let me bring this to your attention real quick, too, before we turn to the market. So we're hearing now that Fed Vice Chair Clarita is going to be resigning because of his questionable trades, insider trading at the Fed. We have seen more than a few Fed officials resign due to being caught insider trading. What else have you noticed here? Has a single arrest been made? Has any charges been filed against these Fed officials who have been caught red-handed insider trading? No, they just get to resign and they get to keep windfall profits. Now, you or me, could you imagine for a moment? You already know I got in trouble with the SEC because one of you out here, who I guess maybe still follows my blog, reported me to the SEC saying that Greg Mannarino is front-running the market. Well, I'll tell you something. It actually turned out to be a good thing because I actually made a friend at the SEC over this. Anyway, if you or I were caught insider trading, we would be in handcuffs. But if you are a member of the Federal Reserve, public enemy number one, a crime syndicate of the highest order, all you have to do is resign. No charges will be filed. They know this. Don't you think they're sending a message here? No arrests, no charges. It's out of control. You think this is a fair system? You're being raped, literally raped. And if you're not taking advantage of this, there's something seriously wrong with you. Anyway, going back to the markets real quick. Stock futures, last time I looked, were just about flat. Crude oil over $79 a barrel. Cryptocurrencies flat to slightly higher right now. Gold and silver catching a bid. Dollar flat. 10-year yield stable. All right, look, it's not a bad setup for the market. And in my view, this market is going much, much higher. Much, much higher. So ignore anyone who's telling you different, because all they're going to do is hurt you like they've been doing for years. Years. It's a crime, in my view. People, this guy here loves you a lot. Please share this video. Very important stuff in this video. I will see all of you at the end of the day. I'm out of here.